Coming up on UT Today, hear how the coronavirus pandemic has affected the future of campus.
Plus, a UT alum who is making history as the first black woman to win the Women's Royal Rumble.
And later, we have a closer look into UT's volleyball team.
That and more coming up on UT Today. More Tennesseans will soon be able to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Good morning and thanks for joining us on UT Today. I'm Courtney Cox.
And I'm Nina Howard. Let's get started.
Beginning April 5th, anyone in Tennessee over the age of 16 will be eligible to get their vaccine. This comes as more availability and doses are being provided to the state. We will have more information on this as it becomes available.
East Tennessee is in need of your blood donations. UT Today reporter Jessica Davis tells us how we can give back.
Giving blood can be scary, but the real scare is when there's no blood to give.
Around 50 people a day donate blood at the Medical Regional Blood Center on Ayler Avenue. Darren Ellis is the communications director for the Blood Center, and he says the pandemic has played a large part in the decrease of donations.
We normally are able to go into larger businesses, high schools, especially in the fall and the spring, so that's where we're able to get a large collection of that. So that's sort of been an ongoing back and forth with us.
Although being negatively impacted by COVID, the center has found a way to flip those negatives into positives.
During the intense part of the pandemic, we were collecting what's called convalescent plasma, which is where people will come in who've recovered from the virus and donate their antibodies. And people who were in pretty serious condition who had COVID in the hospital would receive those antibodies.
Ann Swanson is a regular donor.
I give blood because I know they need it, A, and B, I specifically donate mine for Dalton Brown, who has leukemia.
Ann donates whenever she's able, and her reasoning is less that there's a need, but more of
a feeling that you want to do something.
For more information on becoming a donor, you can visit at medicblood.org/eligibility. For UT Today, I'm Jessica Davis.
And last week, we told you how parking has been affected by the pandemic. And this week, we have more information on which changes are here to stay and what kind of additions Parking and Transit Services is planning for the next academic year.
Parking and Transit Services Communications Manager Moira Bindner says that there are plans in the works for capacity signage for the G10 and G17 garages. These signs would let drivers approaching the garages know if there are spots available inside. She also says Greek Student Life can expect changes to how they buy parking passes. Take a listen.
We're definitely keeping the buying permits online for the sorority and fraternity. That was much more effective. I mean, in the past, we would have 40 sorority women lined up, and we couldn't do that with COVID. And so this kind of was a win-win situation for both of us.
Bindner says also that dorms should be at capacity next year, so parking might be tight. Because of this, the department is looking into ways to expand parking through additional garages, but also mentions there are no plans as of yet to raise parking prices.
It's been about a year since the COVID-19 pandemic first began closing businesses all across the world. Now that stores are back open, many are still not back to normal retail, and customer science professor Michelle Childs shares how the retail world has changed since this time last year.
Before COVID, people were like price, promotions, style, those kinds of things that made sense to be, most interesting to consumers. And now it's like hygiene, like taking care of the employees, like do the employees have masks? Do they feel comfortable social distance in the store? Those things no one cared about before.
With many of these changes still in place, Childs shared she's unsure if retail businesses will ever fully go back to normal, even after the pandemic is over.
In March of 2020, the University of Tennessee chose to engage in online learning to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. With the university moving back to in-person learning and events, this means that the campus tours for future vols will be held in person as well. The Minority Enhancement for the University of Tennessee, also known as Me for UT, hosts prospective students and their families to give them a closer look at life on Rocky Top. Me for UT's Vice President Davion Douglas says even though his organization has put a cap on tour size and has been welcoming students virtually, people are still excited to see what UT has to offer.
Everybody loves it. Everybody's usually here, high spirits, and most people still have a lot of questions. So everybody's still like always interested in like the campus and interested in learning more about the campus, regardless if they're in person or not. So I feel like the morale has still stayed the same.
Me for UT is doing their best to stay safe and be positive as they welcome future vols to campus. For more information on campus tours, visit admissions.utk.edu/visit/campus tours.
UT has another national recognition in the bag. UT has been named a Fulbright U.S. Student Top Producing Institution. This is the third time the university has been nominated for this award. The Fulbright program was created in 1946 to support a long-lasting connection between the United States and other countries. For the upcoming academic year, Fulbright Screening Committee has shortlisted 43 UT candidates as national semifinalists.
And coming up on UT Today, we introduce you to a woman who was putting her passions towards fostering dogs after the break. Welcome back. Many people can agree that a dog is a man's best friend. So what happens if that best friend is in trouble? Scarlett Simpson invites us to meet a woman doing her best to single-handedly foster hundreds of dogs.
When you first arrive at the Aller household, there are many sounds you'll hear, from puppies barking to Sharon Aller talking to her dogs.
They all have to be better before they find their forever home.
One you might not hear is the tale of how Sharon Aller ended up in the doghouse.
Been fostering for over 10 years. I got into it because somebody dropped a puppy off on my doorstep. It started with Honey, and then there were 2, and then there were 5, and then there were 23, and then it's been over 600.
With daughter Abby Aller by her side, Sharon spends her days fostering litter after litter.
Her biggest thing, like whenever people ask her why she wants to do fostering, is that she's like survived 2 really major cancers, and she just wants to give back.
The mother of 4 shares that her discovery of cancer was life-changing.
I was diagnosed with melanoma. My first diagnosis was by the surgeon that removed the spot, and he basically told me to get my papers in order, that I wasn't going to make it.
But says it changed her life in the best way.
I've been clean for 10 years, so God wants me here for a reason, and I believe that it's to help with his animals.
A role model to many, Aller hopes to inspire others to care for those around them. Reporting for UT Today, I'm Scarlett Simpson.
It's spring break season, but for some, this unusual year was the first one with no spring break as well. Due to the COVID-19, UT has decided to cancel the break and fear students' travel could make a bad situation even worse. With continuous school, many students had raised concerns about mental health. Our reporter Nia Myrtle gives us an insight on just how a no-break semester is affecting faculty and students.
Many students and staff have been struggling with their mental health due to the continuous workload this current semester has brought on. According to a survey conducted by the National Association of Student Personnel Administrators, between the coronavirus and schoolwork, students have had an increase in suffering from high levels of anxiety. Trinity Summons, a student at UT, expresses how she feels overwhelmed and stressed without having a spring break.
Mentally, I feel like I'm drained, and I don't feel like I can retain any more information than what I have. And then like my mental health has like also deteriorated and gone down as it just keeps going and I never get a break.
UT faculty has also struggled with having to stress and extend their lessons and plans for their classes. Catherine Burrows, a graduate teaching assistant, explains how being a student in teaching has been a challenge for her.
I'm still a student and I want to support my students as best as I can. So like finding time to do my readings and to look at the articles that I need to, but also like assign assignments and like talk to students and do checkups on them. So finding that is a balancing act.
Catherine shares the importance of practicing self-care whenever she feels stressed or overwhelmed.
And when we talk about self-care, it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna get food to go like this one day, but it's like continuously checking on yourself mentally, and making sure that you're like in the mental place to do the work that you need to do.
If you're feeling overwhelmed or even anxious, you can take a break and relax by lighting your favorite candle, reading your favorite book, or watch your favorite Netflix show. This is Nia Myrtle, UT Today.
COVID-19 has made international traveling almost impossible. However, UT students were still able to enjoy the cross-cultural experience. UT reporter Simran Kumari has the story.
After a year of lockdown, empty airports, and grounded planes, the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine is now fueling hopes for all those who want to just get away in 2021.
Having a vaccine will give me the final confidence to actually make that journey.
But the situation still looks gloomy for international travel. With new guidelines of testing requirements, travel bans, quarantine rules issued every week by CDC.
How frequently the international travel rules were changing, so that just added to the anxiety surrounding the travel.
However, this uncalled pandemic did not stop the University of Tennessee from providing a cross-cultural experience to its students.
So we have online internships, and then we also have regular kind of online global programs where students can take classes from a international institution. Not only are you getting a professional experience, but you're doing that with an international company abroad. So having those multinational connections and networking outside of industries that you're used to, and it can give you students access to industries that they may not have access to here in the States.
Thanks to global online internships, students can now enjoy a cross-cultural experience from the vicinity of their own homes.
Reporting for UT Today, this is Simran Kumari.
And in case you haven't heard, Evolve for Life is making history in the WWE. Now, this is a story I'm so excited for. Former UT track and field star Bianca Belair is breaking barriers. Belair was the first black woman to win the Women's Royal Rumble back in January. Now she will go on to face SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks for the women's title at the grandest stage of all, WrestleMania. This is the first time in history that two black women will compete for the women's championship at this event. Belair, who is a Knoxville native and an Austin East alum, has the chance to win it all. WrestleMania will take place from April 10th through April 11th in Tampa, Florida at Raymond James Stadium. But if you can't make it to Tampa, you can stream it exclusively on Peacock. Good luck, Bianca. We here at UT Today are rooting for you.
Speaking of sports, that's what's coming up next.
After the break, UT anchor Katie Priefer gives you a look into the UT volleyball season and so much more, so stick around.
Hello everybody, welcome back to UT Today. I'm Katie Priefer with sports. Intramural sports are a popular activity to be a part of. The games are played at the University of Tennessee's rec sports fields. Senior intramural kickball and softball player Alex Comas has spent a lot of time in intramural sports, and it changed his college experience for the better.
As I approach the end of my journey here at UT, it's probably to relish the opportunities to get to play with friends and make some new ones while you're playing intramurals, because who knows where you guys will end up post-college. Who's going to turn down an opportunity to play sports, hang out with your friends, and have a good time and stay active? I mean, there's no better option than that.
Despite COVID-19, intramural sports at UT are still able to go on as long as the players take the correct safety precautions.
Wear a mask at all times. During play, it doesn't matter what sport you play, you gotta keep it on, and I think that's the main priority.
Alex Kamas has had the chance to make a lot of good memories over the years while playing intramural sports.
It'd be probably the first time we played flag football. We didn't know the rules too well, and we played a team that basically knew the rule book front to back, and we were getting blown out. But the fact that we were still having fun with it and just having a great time with it, I think that's a thing I'll always remember.
UT offers a variety of sports such as soccer, volleyball, and flag football. You can learn more at recsports.utk.edu.
Intramural sports are a great way to get involved, stay active, and make friends. Dig this! For the first time ever, the UT women's volleyball team is playing a season in the spring. Because of COVID-19, the team split its regular season in half, playing 8 games in each semester this year. Head coach Eve Rackham-Watt is happy with the team and the way they have approached this unique season.
It just feels a little bit different, but at the end of the day, there's still SEC matches. It's just moved on the calendar. So I don't think I would be in favor of changing it long term yet. I haven't seen necessarily the benefit of it, but it's hard to say because everything this year has just been different.
Members of the team joke that it is nice to be out of the football team's shadow. The team is off to a hot start this spring and is looking to qualify for the SEC tournament in April. The Lady Vols NCAA tournament run came to an end last Tuesday. The 6th-seeded Michigan Wolverines eliminated Tennessee 70-55. But despite the loss, the Lady Vols continue to make history with their tournament bid.
Lady Vol basketball is known for their rich program history, and they continue to keep making history as they're the only team to appear in every NCAA tournament. They recently received their 39th consecutive postseason bid.
Lady Vol senior Cassie Kushkitawa shared with us how much this historic moment meant to her.
It's an amazing feeling to be a part of, this program and its legacy. That's one of the main reasons why I decided to come here was because of the program and everything it stands for. I get to call myself a Lady Vol. I feel like it's an amazing feeling.
March Madness was canceled last year due to COVID-19 and all student athletes were sent home. Cassie takes us back to how she felt that day.
At first, I was like, is this really happening? Like, it really didn't hit me until, we weren't really playing again. Like, we were all, we all had to go home. And I was just like, wow. It was just crazy. Looking back at it now, once again, I'm just so grateful that we're even able to have this tournament. And yeah, my thoughts were just I was trying to find the positive in the situation, and that was just more time in the off season for us to really get ourselves ready.
The Lady Vols have definitely prepared themselves to achieve big goals this year by working on the little things.
This team, just take it one game at a time, really. It's been first and second round. And once we get over this hump, which we have this year, we've gotten over so many humps. I feel like it's just going to keep the momentum going, and we're just going to keep growing. So, and then, of course, the national championship. That's the overall goal. But once again, it's one game at a time. And, have to do the small things first. And we all have the same vision of the bigger picture in mind. So.
For UT Today, this is Maya McCoy reporting.
This week for Meet the Vols, Grace Levinsky sat down with quarterback Brian Maurer to talk about this upcoming season. Grace joins us here in the studio.
Thanks, Katie. Tennessee football is back. Spring practice started up this week, and I sat down with the guy at the center of it all.
Tennessee football started off the 2021 season with a delay due to COVID-19. The team's first spring practice started on Tuesday, March 23rd. Spring football practice is a first of many because of the new coaching staff and new players.
With the new players, I think they've come in, they've done a great job of adapting with us, getting a vibe that we have, and we don't expect too much of them just to be themselves every day and to give everything they have every day.
Quarterback Brian Maurer shares his thoughts towards the 2021 season.
The expectations as a team, that could be too high with the new coaching staff, just get in and learn a new system as we've been doing for the past 5-6 weeks.
Tennessee fans, including UT student Spencer Shore, are confident and ready for the new season with the new changes and hopes that the players are too.
We want to see the team be more positive, be more
together and work together and have a more positive mindset for winning and believe in the coaches and believe in themselves.
I am here at Neyland Stadium where the Tennessee football team plays. The stadium will be back to full capacity for the 2021 season. I spoke with quarterback Brian Maurer and UT student Spencer Shore on what having all the fans back to Neyland means to them.
Kind of boring being without them last year, only having, I think it was 25,000 in the stands versus 102,000 is completely different. They gave us juice, and we kind of treat them as like a 12th man on the field, and we need them as much as they need us.
I think that a new coaching staff can kind of bring some new energy to a lot of the people, and so that'll kind of light a fire under the fans to, start coming to the games, start believing a little bit more.
Tennessee's first game is home at Neyland Stadium on September 4th versus Bowling Green State University. Make sure to stay up to date with the team. And with UT Today, I'm Grace Levinsky.
Thanks, Grace. The Vols' annual Orange and White Spring Game takes place April 24th. UT Athletics has yet to announce how many fans will be in the stadium, but we will keep you updated as we learn more. Finally, we wanted to take a moment to recognize one of our very own reporters, UT Today and Vol track star Maya McCoy. Last Saturday, Maya finished first place in the women's 100-meter dash at the Auburn Tiger Track Classic with a time of 11.35 seconds. Congratulations, Maya. We look forward to seeing you in the studio next week. Well, that's going to bring sports to a close. I'm Katie Priefer. Stick around because you do not want to miss out on these sweet freebies.
Welcome back. And you know what's better than getting your COVID-19 vaccine? A free donut. Krispy Kreme is trying to get people vaccinated, and the company is offering a free donut to anyone that provides their vaccination card. Just bring it into any location and receive a free glazed donut.
Well, that's going to do it this morning on UT Today. Make sure you check us out on social media. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all things UT Today. Be sure to head over to our Twitter and Instagram to let us know what your favorite donut is.
Personally, I'm a glazed girl, so, old school.
I keep it classic.
Yeah, keep it classic. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you again next week.